Hey everyone, I'm John Wright with Overlanding and Robotics, and today we have a new project. We're going to be updating the lower and upper control arms on the GX. I just want to take a minute to tell you, if you're new to my channel, that the title, Overlanding and Robotics, I do a little overlanding, that's my hobby, and robotics is related to my work. I teach robotics and automation at university, and you're going to see content probably on both those if you are frequenting my channel. Okay, so the lower control arms. Let me talk a minute about what we decided to go with. There are a couple aftermarket options, but I decided to go with the OEM. So just the factory Lexus, Toyota lower control arms. And the primary reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted to go with the factory bushings, okay, which are rubber. There are polyurethane options out there, but with all the muck and the sand that I put the GX through, I think that might be asking for squeaking and more maintenance to have to take that apart every once in a while and lube that up. So factory it is. I am going to do something different on the upper control arm. So before I finish with this one, let me just show you. I've got these aftermarket cam bolts from SuperPro. One of the reasons why I'm doing this project is because my lower control arm reportedly, okay, last time I did an alignment or tried to do an alignment, is seized, and that's because of the sleeve and the adjustment cam bolt here. Now this is an aftermarket from SuperPro. I'm not sponsored by SuperPro or anybody for the parts that we're going to be using in this video, but you know, this is supposed to eliminate that problem of having that seized up, and so they're a little on the pricey side, but they should eliminate that problem so we don't have to do this in the future. So lower control arms are factory. Let me show you what the upper control arms are going to be. All right, we're going to go with JBA. One of the major reasons why I went with JBA's upper control arms is because of the way you can remove the ball joint out of the assembly, these 4 bolts. That means you can replace it without actually having to do an alignment or removing your upper control arm. These upper control arms have a polyurethane type bushing, but it is greasable. So compromising. Originally I thought I wanted to go with a rubber bushing like factory, but I was so impressed with being able to replace the ball joints that I'm going to do this, and actually greasing looks like it's fairly easy to get access to, and they say to do that like every 3,000 miles. Plus it's on the top part of the suspension, so it's less likely to get all the dirt and grime that I get on the lower control arms. That's why I'm using the factory rubber on the lower control arms. So this is what we're going to use. It's you know, because we have a aftermarket suspension upgrade, so we need to help our caster a little bit. So this should do the trick. Looking forward to the install. Before you begin, make sure you go through all of the bolts that you're going to be working on and hit them with some type of lubricant penetrating oil. I'm using PB Blaster. I think that works great. I actually already did this the night before, and I'm going to do it again, and then we're going to get to work in about 30 minutes. All right, so we are almost there. We struggled a little bit, I'll tell you, with the KDSS. Taking it off wasn't a problem, but putting it back on, that seemed to be a real challenge. I was able to kind of use a combination of jacks to kind of get the bottom bolt, you know, about 80% in. And then there's a little hole at the top here, and we use this little screwdriver to kind of pull this over. It was way kind of off on an angle, and pull this over while we kind of got that started the threads on it. If it weren't for this tie down strap being able to pull that back in, we probably wouldn't have been able to get that close. So it was a combination of just playing with the jacks, this tie down strap tightness, and using this screwdriver to pull it over, and then an impact gun, a big impact gun to be able to do that, because my small one didn't have enough to be able to move that. It's in. All right, we're all done with the driver's side. Biggest challenges we had on putting the lower control arm had to do with the ball, separating the ball joint with the pickle fork. Even with that, it was very difficult to get out. But with some persistence and different angles, eventually, okay, we were able to get it with a little persuasion. The bigger challenge, I think, that we spent probably way more time than we expected, was when we separated the KDSS from the lower control arm. We didn't realize how much that would move away, and trying to bring it back, you'll see, or you did see in the video, that was a challenge. We had like a couple jacks and a tie down strap, you know, and we had to use a small screwdriver to kind of align the holes just to get them there. We were really nervous that we were going to cross thread the bolt, but it worked. It came through, but it took me a little longer than we should have. Maybe there's a better way than what you see me do here in the video, but persistence, we were able to get it done. But man, that was kind of a chore. Now, the reason we started on the driver's side was because this is the good side. The other side is the side that we expect to have a frozen, kind of rusted adjuster cam bolt. And so we've been soaking that with PB Blaster for a little while. We're gonna see if that hopefully loosens up for us. We're hoping that that's the case. But if not, we have a Sawzall, and we will be cutting that out, and you'll get to see it here. So on to the passenger side. Okay, so we're on the passenger side, and this is the side that we had suspected that we have a seized cam bolt. So we removed the cam bolt out of the rear. The front one, it looks like the sleeve is the problem. The sleeve appears to be fused to the lower control arm throughway, whatever that is. And so this is the bolt that came through it. I tried like heck using the penetrating oil and hammering it, but now it's just kind of lipped over on the ends of the sleeve, so wouldn't be able to get it through anyway. So we're gonna try to cut it out. Thank goodness we're not cutting through the cam bolt. All we're doing is cutting through the little sleeve. So I have my Sawzall, and somebody recommended these Diablo 6-inch thick metal blades. I've got 2 packs of those. I got them off of Amazon. We'll see how well they do. I'm not sure exactly which angle I'm gonna have to come in from. I think I can get it from the top, but I might have to do it from the bottom. We're just going to have to see how it goes. Okay, so sometimes the pickle fork doesn't work. So we were trying to separate this ball joint here with the pickle fork, but we're gonna use the Pitman puller. We have one of these. We use it on the other side. We'll see if it works again over here for you. The holding is the piece that we just cut. Apparently, when I was cutting the one side, the other side came nice and clean. I didn't cut all the way through. And it was my mistake. We went back in there with the Sawzall and we took care of that. Now this is what you're actually cutting, if you're curious. This entire amount, okay, of metal here, about 3/8 of metal. The inside piece is just the bushing, okay? I'm sorry, this is the part that's going to the bushing. It's the inner sleeve and that the bolt will come through on a Toyota. It is fused or rusted to the inside of the bushing, this metal piece. And so, thank goodness we didn't have the bolt that was fused or rusted in there, because if that was, you'd have to cut through all the way from here, all the way through the bolt, all the way through the other side of the sleeve and through the rest of the bushing metal that's inside there. So if you're curious about what you're getting into and how much effort it's going to take with the Sawzall, make sure you get the Diablo blades. They work great, by the way. We went through 2 of them. I don't think we had to use 2 of them, but we decided to swap them out just because we had like 6 of them and we wanted to make it easier on ourselves with the effort to cut. But they still look good. So on the driver's side, the KDSS sway bar here wants to pull the bar forward. So pulling that back was a challenge when we tried to put back that side, back to the lower control arm. On the passenger side, we had the opposite problem. The sway bar wants to pull back, so it wants to go toward the rear of the vehicle. So I'm using a tie-down strap, an 800-pound rated tie-down strap, to hold it out so that we can get the lower control arm in without that being in our way. I am bracing that against an aftermarket LFD front bumper, and that works great for this application too. So happy to find another use for the LFD front bumper. Okay, so you got to pump up the KDSS on one side. I don't know if I would recommend using the cinder block in this manner. This is just for entertainment, but this is going to be pushing it up so that we can see it droop on the other side. Okay, using the jack, we've got the KDSS arm, okay, here, close enough, it's down lower, but now we got to pull it, suck it back in, so I'm going to use the ratchet strap trick I used earlier to try to do that. There she goes. Perfect. All right, to access the upper control arm long bolt on the driver's side, you have to take the battery out. At least that seems to be the easiest way. Take the battery out, take the tray out, which just sits in here, And then there's a small screw down here for this plastic piece that holds the harness. And that should be able to move that over just enough to snake out the bolt right out, straight out front. Okay, we got to prep the JBA directions for the upper control arms. The directions say put a little bit of this high performance bushing lubricant on just the outsides. Of course, you're gonna come back later and put lubricant in on the Zerks. That's last, but we're getting ready to put it in here. So I'm gonna do this treatment, and we prepped the big bolt, okay, with some Permatex on it to keep it from rusting. That may be overkill, but that's what we decided to do. The JBA upper control arms are assembled. The directions are very clear on this. You take your through arm bolt, all right, and first thing you're gonna do is put a fat washer on this side. You'll put some lubricant in here, and then on the inside you got a thin washer, and then you got another thin, and then you got another thick, and then your nut. Now, tough part that we had was this went reasonably okay, but this clearance is really tight. So you kind of get this to slide in while you're holding it up, and the bolt is only really through a small amount at this point. So this is the trick that we did. All right, so the trick that we did was this thin washer here, as I mentioned. That's the tough one. We took this breaker bar and we took it from the top of the engine down through, and I held it in place with my hand while my son, you'll need another person, up on top was tapping that gently with a hammer while that is, kind of making its way down, and you're kind of holding the alignment there. And that was the trick. That did the trick for us. Okay, we have one side done. A couple notes here. I've installed the bracket that holds the brake line. This little screw is, you're gonna have to reuse this. You'll have to bend out if you have a GX, you have to bend out the bracket because it's a little bit wider. The new arm is wider than the old one. Don't worry about the tension on this. It's gonna feel a little tight at first, but then when you bring up the nut, okay, for the spindle, that's going to give you a little bit more slack at full droop. This will spin the shaft as you're starting to do this with a wrench. So what we did was we used the impact. So that little impact, eventually it caught and zipped right up there, no problem. Hey everyone, so it's been a few days since we did the suspension upgrade with the lower control and the upper control arms on the GX, and we took it down immediately to get it, aligned at the local tire shop. And I didn't realize, but they wouldn't take it past, spec. So that put the caster at maximum of 3.5 degrees. Drove it up the next day, an extended trip up to New Hampshire from Pennsylvania, and it drove fine, except for when I would back up, I would notice it kind of rubbing a little bit. There was an off-road kind of shop up there, and I took it in while I was visiting, and they moved the caster out to the recommended spec of 4.5 degrees, which is what the JBA spec book calls out for. And that definitely improved it, but I still notice a little bit of rubbing, only in reverse. It's not significant, but it's there. If I take you down here, you can see what I'm talking about. It's pretty close. So you see we're really close there. So, the increased caster angle, that we have, the 4.5 degrees, is doable by putting the JBAs in. Remember, I didn't rub before because I had stocks, but they were frozen and they were like at 1.5 degrees, which is not within spec. And it was a little bit dicier on the steering. So I don't recommend that. You could do a body mount chop. I don't know that I'm going to do that. I haven't really fully decided on it yet. I'm also considering, just next time I go with new tires, just taking them down a slightly smaller size so I can also fit one under the spare, which these 285 70 17s won't fit in the spare. So maybe go to a 265 70 17. It's gonna reduce my overall height by 1 inch, my clearance by 1/2 inch, but I will be able to fit the spare. And that is another benefit. I guess we're going to see what happens. I'm scheduled to take it out to Sprawl National Forest for a weekend trip, see how it does off-road. It may just be a minor nuisance in reverse only that we just live with. But anyway, we had a lot of fun with this. I will update the comments if I learn anything new about it as we move forward. But thank you for watching. Have a great weekend and get out there.